Order, honorable members. Mr. Stephen Kenyanjui, you're most welcome. Clerk, kindly confirm that the person appearing is the nominee to be vetted. Mr. Speaker, I have with me an original identity card of the Republic of Kenya, whose first numbers are 09 and the last numbers are 27. The full names appearing therein are Stephen Kenyanjui Boro KK. I therefore urge the committee to proceed and vet the person appearing, as he appears to be the person that has been invited by this committee for purposes of this vetting. Thank you. In light of the foregoing, I now request the clerk to administer the oath to the nominee.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, you wish to take all to affirm?
Yeah.
By the Bible. You insert your name here and read after that.
I, Honorable Stephen Kenyanjui Mboro KK, do hereby swear that information that I shall give before this committee is the truth and whole truth and nothing else but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you. Continue to have a seat so that we can sign. Put your name here. Just the name. The short form. Taking us to 2 minutes. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you. You're settled? Okay, thank you. Honorable Stephen Kenyanjui, I hereby wish to bring to your attention that the vetting process you are about to be subjected to is pursuant to Public Appointment County Assembly's Approval Act 2017, and also pursuant to Section 157 of Nyandarua County Assembly Standing Orders. Further, I'll take you through the process and the process that is expected to be undergone through this hearing, not hearing, really, through this vetting process. Number one, the duration. The duration will be strictly 1 hour. You will be expected to manage the response of the questions within 2 minutes, and the member will also ask the question within 2 minutes. A member may decide to compress 3 questions at a go, so it's important for you to note for purposes of memory while responding to those questions. I further wish to confirm that the vetting proceedings herein shall be open and transparent pursuant to Section 7(6) of the Public Appointment County Assembly's Approval Act of 2017. Further, I wish to clarify that the hearing will not be adversarial, and the scope of questions and comments pursuant to Section 7, subsection 8 of the Public Appointment County Assembly Approval Act 2017 provides that the approval hearing shall focus specifically on your, number 1, academic credentials, number 2, professional training and experience. Number 3, personal integrity and background. Further information which is expected to be adhered to is that all questions and answers shall be through the chair. At this point, I wish to introduce to you the honorable members who are just about to conduct the vetting process. Maybe we'll start on my right with majority. Karibu.
Good afternoon, former MP Honorable KK.
Good afternoon to you.
Yes, my name's Honorable Elijah Mwanginyaga, MCA Kaibaga Ward, Majority Leader in this Assembly. Welcome.
Thank you.
I've only known Mheshimiwa as a former MP from Kinangop, and during his era, he was very active in the Public Works and Roads Committee in Parliament. That's all. I've known him, no other interest.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon, Honorable KK.
Good afternoon, Mheshimiwa.
My name is Mondi Kagwe from Daragwa Central, MCA, a member of this committee, as well as the Deputy Leader of Majority. Mr. Speaker, I have an interest with the said nominee, having worked with him 2013-2017 when he was a member of Parliament, and also having worked with him in search of the Speaker's seat, but we failed with him. But Mr. Speaker, that won't affect the vetting process, because I'm looking for
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm James Mwangi Gishoki from Engineer Ward. I am the minority leader. I know the Honorable Member KK. He was my MP. I have no specific interest, save for indicating his extensive interest in infrastructure, and especially in terms of road network that he perfectly did in engineer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name's Duncan Githinji Chege, elected MCA Gatimu Ward. I have no interest. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chair. My name is Honorable Sasha Wamai from Daragwa constituency, specially elected and the Deputy Minority Leader. I have no interest.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Honorable Stephen Mureithi, specially elected member from Kara Ward. I'm going to declare that I have a lot of interest in the nominee. Having known him between the year 2013 to 2017 when he was a member of Parliament, Kinangop. That particular time was the personal assistant to the MP on Kalau constituency, and we worked closely with him when he was, because both were in the Roads Committee in the National Assembly, and that particular time he was more than a friend to me and more than a father. Thank you, but having said that, it will not jeopardize the process that we are going to go through today. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon, Bwana KK.
Good afternoon, Mheshimiwa.
My name is Karo Wangu, Honorable Karo Wangu, specially elected member from Weru Ward. I have no interest, but though the name KK is a famous name, so today is the first time I've had a chance to meet Bwana KK. Thank you. No. No interest. No. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you, Mheshimiwa.
My name is Amiri Wanjiku Kabiro, Honorable. I am a specially elected member, and I am also the majority chief whip. I know Bwana KK, having been an MP in Nyandarua County, that is Kinangop, and I worked with him closely when he vied for the same seat as a UDA candidate, where I was an NEC member. Wish you well, sir.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mheshimiwa KK.
Good evening, my Mheshimiwa.
Through Chair, first, I would like also to state now that the nominee comes from my ward, that is Morogoro ward, and he has been a former MP of Kinangop, and I being a member of Housing Business Committee, there is no prejudice in this interview, save that he comes from my ward. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jambo, Honorable KK.
Jambo sana, Mheshimiwa.
I'm Babu Mogure, a specially elected member to Nyandarua County Assembly. It's my honor really to vet you today. However, that will no way affect my objectivity on your vetting.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm on Paul Geche Wambaire, democratically elected member for Kipipiri. Mr. Speaker, I don't have any interest. The only interest there is that today I'm interested to see how I will vet a billionaire at Ikuna. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mahesh.
Maybe Honorable Wambaire, before we come to Deputy Speaker, could you also confirm whether you have his number, unlike the previous case?
Mr. Speaker, from the document provided, for already gotten the number. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon, Honorable KK.
Good afternoon.
My name is Samuel Chege Kadirimu, member of County Assembly for Geta Ward, and the Deputy Speaker, Nyandarua County Assembly, and also the chair, Vice Chair of the House Business Committee. Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Speaker. I have known Honorable KK as an active member and mobilizer of my political party that sponsored me to this house. But having said that, that will in no way jeopardize this vetting process. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Honorable Stephen Kinyanjui, my name is Washira Oiganjo from Morogoro constituency. I'm the Speaker, Nyandarua County Assembly. And to the members, I wish to declare that I have no interest whatsoever. In fact, I know KK through the media, so we've never interacted. Maybe at this point, I would invite the clerk to introduce the secretariat.
Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. My name is Muraidhi Wairimu. I am the Deputy Clerk. I'm standing in for Mukiri Mushiri, the Acting Clerk. He passes his best wishes to you. I am with Peter Karano, the Principal Clerk Assistant, and together with other officers of this Assembly, able officers who are here, and in the interest of time, they may not introduce themselves at this moment. Karibu sana, and all the best.
Thank you, Clerk. Maybe at this point, Honorable Stephen Kenyanjui, I wish to grant you an opportunity to do a self-introduction, a brief profile about yourself within 2 minutes. Karibu.
Thank you, Chair and honorable members. My names are Honorable Stephen Kinyanjui Mboro KK, born in North Kinangop in the year 1957, 7th December, to Mr. Elzavanson Kinyanjui Mukora and Frida Njeri Kinyanjui. Went to Murungaro Primary School. From Murungaro Primary School, went to Reknakuru Secondary School. From Reknakuru Secondary School, went to University of Nairobi, University of Kemu. Have worked in several organizations, and finally, 2013-2017, I was elected as a member of parliament for Kinangop constituency, whereby I went to be a member of infrastructure, public works and housing, and also a member of business, a house business committee like this one, also a member of budget. That was during my term in parliament. I'm also the first member of parliament in the whole Republic of Kenya to draw a motion that went through unanimously in the National Assembly and in the Senate. And as a result of that, I was awarded by the President all the roads for Kinangop to be tarmacked.
Maybe for purposes of information, what was the motion about?
The motion was, if members would have some time, they can go through the parliamentary website. The motion was sitting as follows: that each and every financial year, each and every constituency in the Republic of Kenya, the 290 constituencies, to be given 30 kilometers of bitumen standard, or that means to be tarmacked. And the minimum...
Kindly, just be near your mic for purposes of Hansard.
Yeah. And that translated to minimum 20 kilometers. Bitumen standard, the kind of bitumen we have in our roads, minimum cost is 50 million per kilometer, which translated to about 1 billion per constituency.
Thank you. You made the chair now come to terms the reason as to why CEC roads.
Yes, sir.
If the motion was in line with roads.
Yes, Chair.
Honorable KK, before maybe I open the plenary to the members, I want just a brief preview, very brief preview, your comments. On 24th day of October 2022, a memoranda was sworn under oath by one Councillor Njohi, Kenneth Njuguna Njohi.
Yes, Chair.
And in that memoranda, he questions the authenticity of your degree, the authenticity of your KCSE certificate, the authenticity of your KCPE.
Yes, Chair.
Just a brief comment on that.
Chair, I went to Murungaro Primary School, that is in Murungaro, just one of the wards. And from there, I proceeded to Reknakuru Secondary School. I had misplaced my certificates, and I saw an affidavit, and I took an OB, which are there, those documents are there. But I put my people on an extra gear, just to make sure that they peruse all my offices and all my documents. Good luck, I got them, and here they are with a crack.
Thank you, Honorable Stephen Kinyanjui. Probably, what is your name as per your ID?
Stephen Kinyanjui Mboro KK.
Stephen Kinyanjui Mboro KK.
Yes, sir.
What is your name as per Certificate of Primary Education? CPE. Wait, CPE. There was no KCPE at that time.
Yeah, there was
CPE. Yeah.
Stephen Kemata Kinyanjui.
Stephen Kemata Kinyanjui.
And hence the 2 KK at the end, that is Kemata Kinyanjui.
And what is your name as per your degree?
KK Mboro Stephen Kinyanjui.
KK Mboro. Is there an affidavit harmonizing these different names?
Yeah, I did the change of names on 2012.
Is a deed poll to that effect?
There is I saw an affidavit to that effect.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
From there, anyway, we will proceed with the vetting.
Yes, sir.
We will raise that later at the polling stage. We will follow the same manner. Honorable Paul Wambaire. Thank you for the clarification, Mheshimiwa.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
on Stephen.
Yes, Mheshimiwa.
Maybe I will start by asking you whether you were interviewed.
Yes, Mheshimiwa, I was interviewed.
Where?
We went to dive in, that is in North Kinangop Ward.
Yes, who was the chair?
The chair was County Assembly gentleman from Embu.
Okay.
I may not remember the exact name, but I know he's from Embu County.
The interview took how long?
Took about half an hour.
Very well.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Maybe to ask, now that your department, the roads, it take the big chunk in the budget, and you know from where we sit, our county, we don't even have many kilometers of tarmac, and also we need an upgrade from maybe from earth to earthworks to bitumen standards. With your rich experience, with your rich knowledge, with your connection, what's your plan, or what's new are you going to bring to this department? Number two, I've checked on pro bono, and I have seen that you are a very kind person. You are generous, indeed. And also looking at your net worth, I have seen you can even be able to service like 2 financial years on the budget of road. How will you balance your generosity and the public resource and also your net worth? Thank you, Chair.
Can I answer those straight, Chair? The first one was of the same member of National Assembly. You wanted to know how we'll do to elevate the roads from the kind of roads we have to bitumen standard. Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa, for that question, and hence that's the main reason I drafted a motion and took it to Parliament that the roads in the entire country is 160,889 kilometers. And out of those 168,889 kilometers, only 11,985 which are to bitumen standard. Now, what will happen, bearing in mind the kind of budget that is given to counties, it will be a very tall order to bring those roads to bitumen standard. And in particular in Nyandarua, we have got 6,780 kilometers of all sort of roads, of which less than 10% have got bitumen standard. So what I will do, my motion is still in Parliament, and that motion made the head of state, the former head of state, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and the current head of state, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, summoned me after that motion went through unanimously. I was summoned in State House. Then I was asked, and I'm normally the government is devolving 310 billion Kenya shillings, and if now your motion is saying that each and every financial year, every constituency will be given 1 billion. We have got 290 constituencies. That's totals to 290 billion Kenya shillings. If you add the amount which were being devoted by that particular time, 310 billion, 290 billion, that's translated to 600 billion. The president told me the country cannot afford that kind of money, so let us strike a deal. I asked him, Your Excellency, sir, how do we strike a deal? What exactly do you want? I told him, we can only strike a deal if you promise me that all roads in Kinangop constituency are going to be tarmacked in a period of 5 years. And how will that be done? We agree that each and every financial year I'll be given 20 billion. And we agreed, and that's why I got Kirema Dida D389 Engineer Krema, D393, UG 6428, that is North Kinangop Hospital, RuPaul, and we agreed. So that is a deal. Is already there. And good God, the former deputy president now is the president, and he know the kind of deal we agreed. From there, coming to zero into your question, the infrastructure budget is 150 billion. Being 150 billion, it is the prerogative of the minister. He is normally given 10% of that money for his management. That is about 15 billion. I'll advise my governor. We shall go to the president of the country, and he will call Kipchumba Murkomen. Good luck, is my colleague. We are in parliament with him. And I'll request my governor and tell him, tell the president that 10% which is left at the discretion of the minister will be given 10% of that 10%. 10% of 15 billion will be an extra 1.5 billion. And with the help of you members, I shall come to assembly through my governor, tell them, here we have got an extra budget of, through my governor, of 1.5 billion. You members of the National Assembly, of the County Assembly, you can sit with the governor and agree out of this 1.5 billion, how are you going to share it according to the 25 wards? And whatever I will be told by my governor and you members of the County Assembly, this is where we want you to focus first, because I know we have to do a roadmap to make sure that we have mapped our Nyandarua. We know the worst cases scenario, so that at least we can help, because like Kinangop, I pushed it, it is better off than all those other constituencies in terms of bitumen. But I know there are some places we have been seeing bodies being ferried with donkeys and other taken by people. I think we should do something of great urgency, and at least we make sure that we look for resources with investors to make it motorable.
Thank you for that response. Maybe in the interest of time, and given the fact that all these members would like to pose a question to you, I request you to confine yourself in your answers within 2 minutes. I know you are able to highlight.
Thank you, Chair.
Deputy Speaker.
There's a question that I have not answered, Chair, with your permission.
Okay.
There is this issue of that I'm a billionaire. What about my generosity, whether I will balance it with the public? Now, what I normally do, I just, my generosity, it happens with the need. If it's a needy case, I'll always chip in. If it's not a very serious case, then that is it.
Okay, thank you. So you are in admission, you are a billionaire.
I must declare my interest. My worthiness, net worth is of $500 million. My family, that is my wife and my kids, we are all the 1 billion Kenyan shillings. And I must express that to the House.
Yeah, indeed.
That is how to be honest.
Indeed, that's the definition of a billionaire.
Yeah.
It's someone who owns $1 billion. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable KK. In the area you have just mentioned, where people carry their sick, and sometimes those who have left them on their back, even for 2 kilometers, for 1 kilometer, that is my area.
I'm sorry
my
about
question is, what method or what are your plans you will employ to have the correct data of the status of the roads in Nyandarua, and how will you mitigate on the status, the poor status that is? Thank you.
Can I answer, Chair? The first thing is to do mapping. Mapping is to make sure that we have gone through the county with my staffs if you give approval to my nomination. We shall map all the roads. Each and every road will have a name in the entire of Nyandarua County. Per ward, per ward, per ward, per ward. So that plan or that map will be placed in my office. That once an honorable member of the National Assembly, or the Speaker, or the Deputy Speaker, or the Clerk of the Assembly, or the Deputy Clerk, once they call me and told me this road in this ward is completely impassable, what would you do? We have got 5 units of the equipments of the county. That particular unit, that area where there is a problem, I'll be giving firm instructions. Can you rush to Deputy Speaker's ward, this road, and do the necessary? Thank you.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. We can proceed to majority.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Maybe I would wish to direct this question to an experienced leader, Honorable KK. Rural development is dependent mostly on the status of the rural roads. And given that the setup of our county is in a rural setup, what measures do you think or policies that should be put in place to ensure that we have sustainable road maintenance program? 2, during your era as the MP for Kinangop, we had what we called Road 2000. My question is, can you embrace the idea of Road 2000 strategy as we are doing the roads in our county? Because from what experience that we got from Road 2000 strategy is that there was reduction of cost in making these roads. 2, there was increase of efficiency on the same, and basically there was engagement of the community, youths and people with disability, whereby there was double benefit from the strategy, whereby there was even direct employment created by Road 2000. Well, as a minister, will you be able, can you or will you be able to embrace the idea? Lastly, you are well informed about the classification of the roads within our county. You know very well that we have just 2 classified roads under category C, C77 and C60, C77 and C77 and C67 or 68, I can't recall vividly. What's your advice? Because we are at a disadvantaged position given that our roads in Nyandarua are most of the roads falls under class D, whereby we are not getting the right funding from the national government. What do you think should be put in place so that we can have more roads classified under class C? Thank you.
Chair, can I go for it? Now, you see about...
maybe in the interest of time, every time a member asks a question, I give a leeway. Just respond.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
About rural development, the status, what we shall do, we need to have, through you members of the county assembly, in our supplementary budget, if you approve me for nomination of these slots, we shall review the budget to make sure that we avail some resources for a quick fix before we do the major works. Because what we have, what I have identified, because I come from this county, those roads are not properly drained. So within a very short time, even if they are done, you see they are worn out. About Road 2000, there is this Road 3000 in the county development plan. So I shall come back to you once I'm appointed, and I tell you to, I request you to harmonize the one which is current there for the Road 3000 and the one for 2000. We can join them together, and I believe we can have good result, and that will also create employment. About classification of roads, when I was in Parliament, I was a member of the classification, and I and Mheshimiwa Kiaraho, and Kiaraho is still there, and he assured me that he's going still to go back there. So, and I'll make sure that we push some of the roads, like all the roads in Kinangop. I rifted them. They were in class D, so most of them are now in C. So I'll do the same. I'll lobby through my able members of Parliament to lobby for more roads to be classified so that they can be taken by the national government. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Bwana KK.
Yes, Mheshimiwa.
Let me take this opportunity first of all to congratulate you.
Thank you.
having known you, that if we can talk for a person from Nyandarua, we can talk about KK.
Thank you.
Even if he loses an election, he stays in he stays in Nyandarua. I have only one or two questions. If an opportunity you are given, and we understand we have a 5 unit which are supposed to be making our loads. Bearing in mind, you know that the lane from Kenton to Calampton. What will you be doing, or which measures are you going to undertake, as you are an advisor also to the governor, to make sure that there are some wards which are bigger than the others, that those units can be given more days vis-a-vis the small wards. 2, most of the load, particularly in Daragwa, are not classified. What measures are you going to undertake so that those loads may be classified rather than be left to be managed by the county government? Last but not the least, Mr. KK, public outside there, they perceive you as a high-headed person.
Come again, Mwesh. Come again, Mwesh.
In the public domain,
okay,
Mr. KK, the public perceive you as a high-headed person. How will you be able to balance with the other CEC members who will be nominated to work with, bearing in mind that you have been a member of parliament and others have been from other areas? How will you be able to balance when you are working together? Thank you.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. On the opportunity, once the opportunity is given, you have just elucidated that there are small wards, there are bigger wards. We shall factor that. And that's why I have told you the first thing is to do mapping. Once we have done mapping, we shall be knowing the number of kilometers in every ward. That is 25 wards. We shall have a picture of each and every ward. How many kilometers of a road does it have? Bitumen, non-bitumen, motorable and non-motorable. And I shall advise my governor accordingly, so that the units, we shall be giving time according to the way the roads are, and depending on the area of that particular ward. You have said most of the roads in Daragwa. It's good luck, the Member of Parliament. We are from the same party, UDA, Honorable Gashagwa. I'll link him with Honorable Kiaraho to make sure that most of the roads in Daragwa are classified. About being high-handedness. I'm named after my mother's father. My mother's father was a senior chief and also became paramount chief. Those guys were not a joke. And that is the pride I have. Even if somebody assumes me to be high-headed, I'm very sober. And you have never heard, and I've never been charged having assaulted anybody. And how I shall be working with the colleagues CECs. If this position is granted, I'm not their supervisor. So there is nowhere anyway we shall collide. Everybody has got his own docket, and it is a performance contract. So you have to zero in on your docket. So because if you don't zero in on your docket, chairman, then you'll be surprised after 2 years your contract may not be renewed. So I've not have any business within a CEC. I only have, unless when we are in a cabinet meeting, or CEC's meeting with the governor, chaired by the governor or the deputy governor, that's only when everybody will be presenting his case. Just in case of an opinion, I'll give my opinion, and because I'll not be their boss, and so there is no chance of colliding.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm convinced with this explanation, but as I wind up, most of the loads have been enclosed. How will you handle that?
Chair, thank you so much. That's why I have said we shall do mapping first, and then I hope we have got surveyors, because I've not gone to the department. I don't know whether we have got surveyors. The first thing we shall do, if we don't have surveyors, I will request my governor to request the Public Service Public Service Board to recruit surveyors. From there, I'll send the surveyor to Survey of Kenya to get the original maps of these lands when they were demarcated, so that we know the people that will guide us. Any person who have encroached the the road reserve. And I shall request my governor to do public participation so that the public is aware that this road was 9 meters or 10 meters, and now you have encroached 2 meters and 3 meters. Kindly remove your fence because we must do the road for the good of the Raja public of Nyandarua.
Thank you. Honorable Gishoki.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mheshimiwa, I heard you talk of a supplementary budget, and even though you are not currently in the county government, but budgets are a public document. I'm sure most likely you may have perused. You may note that the biggest bulk of pending bills are always under the Department of Roads, considering it's most of the time the allocation that it has. I would want to know on your approval, the mechanism you're going to put in place to ensure that all works and monetary allocations within the roads are absorbed in time. Secondly, the other big thing in the Ministry of Roads is the county machinery. As it is happening now, it is that we have the machines, but it sometimes is very difficult to ascertain the extent of expenditure by the members when the county machineries are in our respective wards. What mechanism are you going to put in place to ensure that the accountability of those resources allocated to the county machinery, the member is with ease able to know how much he has spent, how much is in the balance, and how much time he needs to accomplish his work? Thank you.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa, for your good questions about the pending bills. I believe the governor has appointed a task force to look into that. But if once I'm approved, I'll make sure that we have gone through those pending bills. I know there are contractors association here, and they know whether the roads were done or not done, and we shall make sure that the genuine pending bills will be paid, but the air pending bills will not be paid. Coming to the machineries of the county, with the help of you, honourable members, we shall be going around with you in your respective ward, doing examples practically. I as the CC roads. We will go on to the Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, Unit 4, up to Unit 5. We shall make sure that we have identified road A or B or C which is being done. Where it is being done from the source, we know how many kilometers is that road, where the materials are being sourced. So we shall be calculating actual. We know where the trucks are going for material. So we know what kilometer, what kind of diesel is going to be used. Okay, we quantify. We will be having a quantity. If we don't, I wonder whether we have got a quantity engineer, quantity surveyor, or we have or we haven't. But I'll make sure that we have got a quantity surveyor in the department if I'm appointed in this docket to make sure we do a proper costing, so that if award is given 2, 3, 4 million, we exactly, in collaboration with my staff and the county assembly member, MCA of that particular ward, we quantify the road. We know the cost of that particular road because the roads are different, and where the places where we are getting material in different wards are different. We go on the ground before the works starts. Once we go on the ground, we identify the material source. The number of kilometers has to be done. We cost it, so we know 1 kilometer is going to cost us about 750,000. Then how many million? 3 million. That is about 3.5 kilometers, which are going to be done just like that to make sure that you can be able to plan. Even the member of the county assembly, because he's the one to be in charge. Even if it's Unit 1, when you are doing your award, we shall involve you, so that you are the person who knows what are the priority of your award. Once you tell us this is the road, we look where the materials are going to come from, then we shall do that costing, and we'll do a proper costing, what you expect from the amount that you have been allocated. Thank you.
Very well answered. We look forward to working together.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First is to congratulate Mr. KK. I'm that happy to have you here because I know you for a long time, and I know you're among the great men in Nyandarua. Okay, my question is, we have this issue of contractors doing shoulder works. How will you deal with that? Second question is issue of drainage system. You get, like in my ward, we have a problem with drainage system. Still, how will you deal with that? And my third question is, it's good. In fact, you fought for Kinangop to get some more road, but after you have been given some roads, why did you only concentrate in Kinangop only? I didn't hear you mentioning other places. I only hear you mentioning only Kinangop. I think if I were you, I could share them in all part of Nyandarua, the few ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa from Gatimo Ward. About the contractors, they have to comply. There is no two ways about it. About sure the job it will be a history if this docket is given to me. I'll make sure that they comply. There are standards of doing roads. Roads is not just being done. There are some standards. About the drainage, one of the most teething problem in the county, our roads are not drained. So even if they are done within a very short time of period, once the rain falls, they are swept. I'll make sure that the roads are properly drained. About the roads for Kinangop, I was a member of parliament for Kinangop, and Olkarau, Daragwa, Oljorok, and other Kipipiri, they had members. And first and foremost, you fight for your place. I fought for 8 roads in Kinangop, and they are all being done. I'm very proud to report they are all being done. That is D389, that is the one which starts from Captain. If I was the member of parliament, it would have started at the other side of Ndonyunjero, Geta, Wanjohi, then coming this way. But since I was not there, the members who were there, they made sure that it is started their place, which is okay because they are elected from that area. Because now will be the CEC roads in the entire county. That's why I've told you we are going to do the mapping. We take the stock. We look where our roads are so bad. At least we try to uplift those who are down there. We come to the same level, then we start moving together.
Mr. Speaker, although I just hope that in case if give you the position, I hope you consider to balance all the part of Nyandarua. Thank you.
Mheshimiwa, that's what I've said. I have said we shall do the mapping. Mapping is going now on the ground. See the status of the road, and you make sure that you have lifted all the 5 constituencies at the same level. Then you start moving from there.
Thank you, Honorable Sarah Sasha Ngima Omai. Karibu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, our chair. Mr. Steven